Good morning, good afternoon. In this recording, I'm going to be talking about the usual, but this video is going to be titled Earth, in quotation marks, is a screen God projects itself onto. And this video might be a little controversial to the average watcher, but if you are on my channel, if you are watching this video, I'm sure it is for a reason, and you are not just the average person. So it will be controversial to those very heavy in belief systems. If you are ready to see a shift in your experience here on Earth, if you are ready to experience that next step of consciousness, this means that you are ready to somewhat drop and lose all belief systems, all philosophies. And that's why I'm saying this video is going to be controversial ahead of time. And I totally respect that some people would rather not hear what I'm about to say. But the entire core and purpose behind spirituality is taking the knowledge that has been put into religion and applying that knowledge to oneself. Putting the very same power that has been put outside of us through religion back inside of us. And you cannot do this so long as you are believing in this invisible, corrupt system that is ruling over this world, or another word we call this world is earth. And that's ultimately what my message is here for you today. Earth is not a physical place, and in my opinion, this is what the top officials of our world, the governments, are keeping from us. It's not the fact that they're ruling it, it's not the fact of anything at all. These are all belief systems which we have mostly, for the most part, have been given to us through YouTube videos and the internet. And I've spoken with over hundreds of people going through these awakening processes. And almost all of them tell me the world was such a brighter and better place before they awakened. And my question to them was, what do you consider an awakening? Because if the world didn't become better and more beautiful and pure, my friend, you have bought into a belief system that is taking you from your heart. There is no problem here on this earth, and this is what some people are not ready to hear. These belief systems that we are creating and projecting onto this screen, the Maya, the illusion, is this very screen you are projecting yourself onto. You are no stranger, nor ant, nor foreigner on this planet you walk on. This planet is just as much a part of you here that you can feel and sense through your own senses. The only difference is you need a screen to project your own mind, thoughts, and self onto to experience. It's through you looking at others that you look at yourself. When you look at someone else and you judge them, you judge yourself. You could never view yourself walking from behind yourself to see how you walk. How would it look like? So through the screen, through others, you experience yourself. And it is this screen that you are projecting yourself, your own awareness onto. So your level of self-awareness will directly impact your entire experience here. This means if you want to believe and buy into a system which is keeping you in a hindrance, which is keeping you under some law or someone's control, you have the power to do so, and this is your divine power. And this is why truth cannot be given to you or shown to you. You have to experience this firsthand for yourself. Because it is you that projects this corrupt and dark world into being. And the hardest part to accept is that I am responsible for what I am seeing in this world. And let me explain this, because again, I know this is going to get very controversial for some people. But I'm mainly speaking for those who are ready for this message. We're so stuck and we make it the mission, the person in the body, Tyler. It's Tyler's mission to change the world, save the world, awaken the masses. But through this lens of making this Tyler's mission, Tyler will experience great stress, great pain, great frustration, and all these other human emotions that come. Ultimately, I will be suffering because I have made it my mission to focus on everything beyond me. The moment I acknowledge that this entire production is through my own awareness, I am projecting myself onto this canvas. And this is why I say to people, the painter and the canvas are one and the same thing. I am the painter, you are the painter. I am that I am, and you are the I am that I am as well. We are both the same painter, painting our own awareness onto this canvas. So what you believe in establishes power. This is something the child shows the adult very early on. This is how powerful the mind is. The mind is pure imagination, everything but now. The heart is what connects us to now. But the mind is so powerful, it can take us from now through imagination. And that imagination is beautiful and divine. But again, it can take you from this now, and not only that, but pervert and distort your idea of this now. What the child shows you is the power of the mind very early on. If the child believes in their mind, there's a monster under the bed, there's a monster in their closet, there's something where there's something we know there isn't. If the child's mind believes it, the power of the mind creates it there. And so you can tell them it's not there, but they believe it. And so they sleep in that fear. Apply that same method to every single thing you know. Everything. You're believing in a shadow government that's ruling this world and making it a darker place. And as I've said, I've spoken to hundreds of people who have gone through the awakening process. And almost all of them have given me the same story. The world was so much more beautiful and pure before they knew of all the corruption and all the dirt and all the killing and all of this. And I ask you, what do you want to see? Because some of us subconsciously are creating this for ourselves. And subconsciously means we're not aware of our power. We're not aware of our true power. And that's our greatest fear, is that we are in fact powerful beyond measure. And this is why, in fact, some of us have created deities or shadow governments to keep that idea that something or someone is ruling over us. Because ultimately, when you become that supreme one being, you are saying, I am responsible for every single thing that I am experiencing. I am the creator. And I'm not talking about everything you're experiencing as far as what someone else does, but this is over self. I am in charge of my entire experience. What I am here controls my entire experience. It's a matter of whether I want to dominantly live in the heart or the mind. The mind is going to create all these different avenues disguised as knowledge, which takes you from this now. And you will find that most of what the mind is giving you and these avenues it's sending you down are taking you from this pure moment of now. What we see in the world that we do not like is reflection to us. And especially, what you focus on is what you are bringing power to. There are people that wake up and watch the news every day just to get angry at it, when they know they're going to get angry, but they watch anyways. In the person's mind, this is awakened. They're awakened to what's going on in the world. I'm awakened to what everybody else is oblivious to. They think they're the only ones that are aware of the corruption, of the problem in the world. And why the hell isn't everyone else? Well, I'll tell you why no one else is, because that problem is direct reflection to you. That's a hard thing to swallow. That's a hard pill to swallow, especially for ego. Because now I'm saying that I am not only creating the problem, but I have the power to directly fix this. And a lot of us want there to be a problem. We want there to be a higher being. We want there to be a shadow government. We want there to be something in charge of us. Deep down, we think we don't. But a lot of us are really keeping this shadow government or these belief systems in place to keep us from moving into that power. Because so long as Joe Schmo or this group or this corrupt system or that corrupt law is ruling over you and the people, you will never be what's ruling. Ultimately, and you will not have to take responsibility for what is happening. It's the shadow government's fault. It's this corrupt system's fault. It's his fault. It's her fault. You've looked everywhere but in the mirror. Now isn't that convenience? And that's why I've said this video is going to be controversial. But if you're on this video, if you're on my page, I'm sure you are ready to hear this. It's nothing new. This is what people don't realize. Your experience here is directly based on your level of self-awareness. And that's why I love what Jim Carrey says about depression. Depression is just your mask, your character in this belief system that you call Earth, telling you, I'm tired of playing this game. I'm tired of being this person. And that does not mean ending the person, suicide. No, no, no. That means becoming more self-aware, self-inquiry. Who is it that is tired of being this person? Who is it that is tired? Who is it that suffers? And this is where Buddha's teachings are golden. Because he got to the root of the one suffering and the one who is aware. And he separated them to the two geniusly. Sri Ramana Maharshi is another one. Genius at self-inquiry. Genius at turning your own lens on itself. The problem is everywhere but you. You've looked everywhere in the world. You've scattered every book and every government book, but your problem is still there. You've looked everywhere but the mirror. And now it's time to do some self-inquiry. Who am I? Who am I? Because ultimately, that who is who's tired of existing in this world, in this earth, in this skin, in this belief system. And that's the ultimate power. When you realize the earth is not physical. It's not here, it's not there. Beyond location. The earth is a network the pineal gland, the singular I, connects us to. This is why when the pineal gland turns off, the universe turns off. You project your consciousness onto this screen. This entire screen is what has been called Maya, the illusion. And while you still exist in the Maya, you can see through the Maya. You can become aware of the illusion. And all this means is that what reality becoming an illusion means, or seen as an illusion means, you have awoken in the dream. Again, when you say the word illusion, your mind is going to dirty this word illusion, and it's going to pervert the word illusion and create all these distortions of what an illusion is. And most people arrive at, well, reality is not real, this is fake, it's a dream. It's all about the perception you are choosing to associate the mind with when these words are spoken. I can say any word in the world, and everybody watching this video will paint a different picture in their mind of the word itself. And this is why I tell people, it's the belief system you have behind this word that you are scared of. The mind knows nothing. It thinks it knows something. So all you're doing is working yourself up with thoughts that don't belong to you and will never occur. That's why you move into the witness. What is aware of who is producing these thoughts? Because who is producing these thoughts is not aware. They have no meaning. The who is very stuck in these thoughts, but not the observer, not witness. The witness witnesses them come, it witnesses them go. Same with depression, same with sadness, same with feeling anything we don't like. You witness it come, you witness it go. It's the same with a storm. There can be a Category 5 hurricane, the worst tornado in the world. You will see the storm come and you will see the storm go. It's the same thing with the mind. The mind, when trouble comes, in the mind, it's like a storm coming. Witness the thoughts, witness the storm, come and go. Because what happens after the storm? The sun comes back out. It's like it never was. It's when we start believing into these systems, these belief systems, we start going into the mind. These people saying, I have to beat reincarnation, I have to escape. I made a status about this just yesterday, and I stress this. I almost mention this on so many of my videos because almost every day on Facebook, I'm constantly seeing talks about other people putting out information for others. But what they're offering is the fact that they have to escape, transcend, exit, the matrix. You know, all these words of doing something or going somewhere. All ego-driven systems, all ego-based. When you know self beyond ego, where can I go? Where have I been? I'm not even here. I appear in the body, but again, I travel through this body to project my awareness, my formless awareness, onto this canvas, to experience myself at all. So while this is not me, this is the apparatus I utilize to experience what I call me. It's me, but it's not me, and that's the ultimate paradox of creation, of existence. And the paradox is maddening. Because what is isn't, and what isn't is. And it's just everything is backwards, flip-flop. It's a total paradox, everything. But these words like escaping, leaving, who is it? Who is it that has to do something? This is when life becomes a problem. When the mind starts telling us we need to escape the matrix, I need to exit the matrix, I need to transcend the body, I need to beat reincarnation, don't go toward the light. All of this is fear-based, and so it's ego-driven. When you say the word reincarnation, your mind will dirty it. Why? Because your mind is going to think of what that word means, and it's going to paint a picture in your mind of what reincarnation is. And if you don't like the picture it's painted, you will then fear the word reincarnation. And it's the same with death. Death is associated with the end of the body, the parting of the body, the exiting of the body. Well, that's as far as we know. But again, that's been touched by the mind. The mind knows nothing beyond now. So again, I can believe into the thought that I know what death is, but no one knows anything. They think they know. And that's why there is no truth. Knowing you know nothing is the ultimate and most humble truth there is. And it's funny, when I've said this to people, I know nothing. They take it as I'm insulting myself. They're like, no, you know a lot. You know, you're very knowledgeable. Yeah. But what do I know? I wouldn't call it knowledge, I'd call it wisdom. Knowledge is just the mind's chatter, disguised as brilliance, but it's not. It's taking you from the moment. Once you realize that the earth is nowhere physical, there is no location to the earth is no different than any other word in existence. When we say the word, the mind paints a picture. The mind paints a time, a location, A who, what, when, and where, right? Well, you're the who. So the mind paints the where and the when. So when I say earth, the mind is going to paint earth, where, and when. Well, when, we've all seen the earth in a picture that shows a black background, right? And we've seen all of NASA's pictures, so we know the where and the when. Well, it's 2020, and the year and the month is February so-and-so, so, you know, I couldn't even tell you the day because I don't follow time like that. I only follow the time of day to travel through the day. I don't care about month, year, none of that, because no one knows anything about that. Anyways, it doesn't matter. It's always now. There's only one moment in existence, and I've posted a status about this before too. There is only one moment in existence, and that moment is separated through time, through people. Through time, we're separating this singular moment, and that's what the word represents. In the beginning was the Word. Well, there is no beginning because it's always the Word. It's always now. There is no beginning and end. So this is all one word being spoken and represented by a big bang, one singular boom. But that big bang has no duration. It's not beginning or ending. It's always is and has been. So we are this one word, one heart, one person appearing in many. And again, it is through this canvas that I call the earth that I project my consciousness onto to experience myself. But so long as I'm being told the earth is in this location, the earth is here, it's at this time, it's at this place, you're here, I am being delineated and limited to my potential. Eliminate these belief systems that you know where you are, because nobody knows where. And you can laugh all you want, but nobody can prove it to you. You can have the most rich man in the world offer anybody the highest paid figure in the world. It will still not be proof, because nobody can prove anything to anybody. What you are seeing in the world outside of you reflects you directly. And this is something that quantum physics proves. And I don't know if the quantum physicists that are in this field are aware of this or not, but all of them are going to get different results in their lab tests because they're all different focal points. And only someone who knows quantum physics will understand what I'm saying. But that's how insane the multiverse theory and quantum physics gets. And again, that's all theory. All the mind, again. But they are being able to start running tests and hold these simulations longer, where they're actually going into realities and simulations just as real as this one. And this is a little off topic, but I've said this soon, and I will say this again. Or I will be doing a video on this soon, and I don't want to say it too much because I don't like predicting the future or telling people the future, but soon, video gaming, and this is just my prediction, video gaming is soon going to become quantum gaming. What this means is that you can plug yourself into a headset and it will connect you into what's called the multiverse. So let's just say you're a die-hard Tupac fan, Selena fan, John Lennon fan. These are all three artists that I mentioned. They've deceased. They died before their time. Let's just say you want to go to the reality where they never died at all. Quantum gaming. You can upload yourself into that reality and so hear albums and music that have never been released before. And welcome to the future. That's quantum gaming. You take the headset off, you're right back in the body, and you've just experienced a version of reality you've never known before. And that's just a light scale of what I'm telling you here. Imagine it on a bigger scale, and some people may not like this idea, but again, this is just theory, so don't get mad at me. This is just a theory. But if you could connect to different realities where people deceased are still alive, celebrities, same with your loved ones. They've passed on, and yes, you could go into a simulation and see them, but you would be aware you're seeing them through a simulation. You would be aware it's not real per se, but again, it would feel just as real as this reality. And that would be your choice. Quantum gaming, that's what I think the future will be. You'll be able to see loved ones who have passed on. Not just deceased. You'll be able to go into other realities that have not yet happened, that weren't lived out, that weren't seen by you. Because again, ultimately, we're all in a world of our own, just like Alice in Wonderland. And that's why I love that movie more than anything. We're all in a world of our own. But that's what I believe the future is, quantum gaming. But anyway, back on topic. The basis is the earth is no physical place, and as long as we are assigning it location here or there, we should be looking at earth no different. And I don't get why this is such a hard concept for people. But when you have a virtual reality game that duplicates the pineal gland itself, think about it. Where is the pineal gland? It is on my head. What do you use to connect to a virtual game? A headset. Why is this such a hard concept for people? You're putting on a headset to project you into an entire universe. That's what virtual reality is. You are seeing in a completely different world around you. And I know I've said, as of today, the technology is very moderate, very basic. You can put the headset on and see the graphics and you can tell I'm in a video game. Give it some time. Soon you won't be able to tell the difference, and that's because ultimately we are in a game. But again, when you say the word game, your mind is going to touch it. Your mind is going to fill in the gaps of what would it be a game like? What would it be like living in a game? And your mind's going to create all these different ideas and stuff. And I'm not saying you shouldn't. But my message is for people who live in the mind, who identify with the mind, who actually let the mind work them up and create them into a state of fear, into a state of depression, because the mind is directly connected to the pancreas. And this is why when you have bad thoughts, when you're depressed, your stomach hurts very bad. I've been there very many times. I've been there. You know, eating bread for 2 weeks because you're so depressed, you can't eat, you don't want to eat, your stomach is so sick. And that is why, because the mind is connected to the pancreas directly. That's why meditation is a very good practice to begin practicing how to be instead of do. Meditation is about just observing the breath and observing whatever comes. This means thoughts and anything else. You witness them. But once you can begin to witness the breath and control the breath, you can control the mind, because the mind is connected to the breath and the breath is connected to the mind. Even when we're not aware we're breathing, the mind is still connected to the breath. And that's why breathing techniques are encouraged for beginners at meditation, But in the later stages of meditation, you should focus on being instead of doing. You should never try doing something when you are practicing any forms of meditation. There's a lot of people that think meditation is practicing silence, silencing the mind, doing nothing. As long as you're doing nothing, you're still doing something. Because meditation is not a practice of doing. This is where you surrender to yourself and surrender the doing, and you just be. This means when you be, there is no right or wrong. If I take the right path or the left path, there is no right way. Just be. Don't even think about it. When you think about it, you dirty the moment. You're not in the moment. The pure ecstasy that we seek is in this moment of being. And it's effortless. I tell this to people all the time. It is so effortless. This is why nature is our greatest mirror. Nature shows you how to be effortlessly. Because who is it that suffers? The one in the body, the one who thinks. But remember, the one who thinks is only living through imagination, is creating all of these things that are not so. The mind is touching the moment, and so the moment is dirty. The moment is never pure. The moment can even become a problem which you feel you must escape, or go beyond or transcend. And all you do is run from yourself. Again, you are being the doer instead of submitting to yourself. And that's why I've said before, try something different and surrender. Surrender. It sounds so simple, but oh so hard for the one in the mind that must do. The one in the mind that needs distraction. Very few people can sit by a lake, can sit by a pond, can sit in absolute silence and be content. This is what was so magic about Buddha. This is why people traveled from states and countries to come witness this man sit under a tree. The expression of his joy and his being was something that was unexplainable to anyone who has read books. You have read people's expression and description of this man. He had a joy, a radiance, a glow to him like no one has ever seen before. And all he did was sit under a tree and attract millions of people to his area. Because his ultimate message was being and not doing. The doer is the one who suffers, is the one who must escape the matrix, is the one who must awaken the masses, the one who must expose the corruption. There is no corruption. There is no masses. There is none of these charades you've created. And I know that's controversial to say. And I know a lot of people may say, well, look into the world, look outside. How do you not see this and how do you not see that? I'll tell you how. It's your mirror. And that's the most basic giveaway. When you begin asking yourself, it's so obvious, how does nobody else see this? If it was that obvious, don't you think everybody would see it? You're only seeing yourself. You're believing in this belief system, which is coming from you. You've projected it, and that's why nobody else sees it. This whole corrupt government and shadow government is a collective agreement. It's something that has been put out over the internet and over the YouTube videos for so long that we have believed it. And now we're blaming this shadow government, they. People may not like me saying this, but guess what? I'm not trying to be liked. I'm about self-empowerment. And self-empowerment is removing this stupid shadow government from power. They hold no power over me. They hold no power over you. Because they do not exist. When you say the word they, you have just given yourself someone to place blame on. You have just created a pity party for yourself without realizing it. And I know I'm being a little rough in my words right now, but I'm sorry. I'm trying to give everyone a little kick in the rear. I want people to be about self-empowerment. This is what spirituality is about. And at the end of the day, we're either going to just watch YouTube videos or we're going to apply this knowledge. If we're going to spend the time to listen to people and read books and do this, make your life a better one. Because awakening is not about turning the world into some dark, corrupt place. And if you've gone there and you exist here, you've taken a wrong turn. You've existed dominantly in the mind, and now it is time to surrender to that and let go. Go back to your heart. Go back to your inner child. Ignorance is bliss. You can sit back and judge all these people who go out and drink and have fun and are ignorant, but deep down, don't you wish you at least shared their joy of life? Because you can't say you enjoy this when you're constantly feeding into the belief system that this is a corrupt, dirty, evil place where all these dark people rule, and this is just a dark, gloomy place. And when did it become this? Again, I had no idea about it until the internet, YouTube videos, the collective agreement. But I don't agree with this anymore. And I don't mind speaking out about it. Because I know everybody wants to awaken the masses and expose they and expose they and expose they. But what is the point of spirituality? As long as you're one of these people exposing government and stuck in government, you're no different than what religion preaches. And all religion preaches is that the power is outside of you. So by you going around and telling people about the shadow government, you're just like religion. You're taking the power and putting it right outside of you, and then you're spreading that to everyone else. And I know it's obviously not intentional, but what I'm saying is this is a collective agreement that we have all studied and agreed on, and then the people who become aware of it say, how does nobody else see this? Because we're not looking in the mirror. We've all collectively agreed on this and so created it. Well, we individually have the power to change that, and that's why I don't exist here anymore. Not in that world. Not in the world of corruption and dirty and pollution and all this problems. It's direct reflection of self. It's, again, very hard to say. And that's another one of Sri Ramana Maharshi's quotes. As someone asked him, how do I treat others? How do I take this knowledge and apply it and treat others, right? Well, his response was very simple. There are no others. Now, doesn't that just make the ego quench up? Ugh. Because if there are no others, well then ultimately, who is it that pisses me off? Who is it that's triggering me every day? Who is it that I think is the problem? Bingo! Now we're getting to the bottom of my own BS. There are no others. So who is it that's done this? And this is where the ego will get in its own way, because the ego says, it ain't me. It ain't me. It's not me. Whoop. Ego steps back and says, nope, not me. But this is why you must be aware of even your own ego. Step forward and say, yes, it is me. I have created this. I have agreed on this. Unawaringly, but now I am aware. And so this lens of ego will create the picture no more. God is me as me is God, and this is my canvas. I project my awareness onto this screen for me to experience myself. So by changing and going inside, look within, I can directly influence my outside world because I project my awareness onto this canvas, onto this screen that I create. And just as Alan Watts has said, the seer and what's seen are one and the same. If there was no seer, there would be nothing to be seen. If there was nothing to be seen, there would be no seer, and vice versa, blah, blah, blah. If there was nothing to be seen, there'd be no seer. If there was no seer, there'd be nothing to see. Because they're one and the same. You project yourself onto your own canvas to experience yourself. No, I don't look like a beach. No, I don't look like a tree. So when I say it's your mirror, I don't mean it's the one you see in the mirror. But what I mean is this is your mirror beyond the one in the body, beyond the who is aware, beyond the who that suffers, beyond the who that thinks they're aware and existent on an earth, on a physical place located somewhere. Again, when we describe what we are as this, we instantly limit ourselves because we are giving the mind the power. The most powerful thing is here and now, and all we have to do is submit to it. All we're searching for beyond is an indescribable feeling, and that indescribable feeling is expressed always through the now. And that is what you seek, what is here in front of you now. So every book, every speaker, every YouTube video you've ever watched was just you looking for the indescribable expression of now. And this is why you don't need to look any further. You don't need to listen to anyone any further. Look within, and you will already be there. Belief systems are what limit us, are what handicap us. I want everyone to try Try to describe yourself in as many or as little words as you choose. But what you'll find is all these words you use to describe yourself are sound expressions which are painted with a picture through the mind. So again, when I say the word earth, your mind instantly paints a picture of the picture we've all seen of us in a black background with a little ball, and this is where we are. We see the picture, boom, we know where we're at. We know what time of place it is and time of day it is and all that. Right? But that's the greatest thing, is even the one who thinks they know only thinks. Andrea said, so the egg and the chicken came into reality at the same time. And Lucian says, there is no egg, there is no chicken. That's the greatest question, is what came first? And this is serious. This is a serious question now, actually. That's a good point. What came first, the white man or the black man? What came first, Adam or Eve, the male or the female? Let me tell you something, my friends. As long as you ask what was first, what began, you're thinking through the ego which exists through appearance, disappearance. What I am cannot go anywhere and has not gone anywhere. I've only embodied forms but cannot go anywhere. And so ultimately, there is no beginning or end. There is no first and last. There is no appearance and disappearance. I am that I am. The white man and the black man did not come before one another. You would not know black without white, and you would not know black without, or white without black and black without white. Vice versa. You would not know the male without female and the female without male. But again, all the opposite one is your mirror. So for instance, I'm a male, I would be on this half, looking at the female half saying that is my mirror. I don't appear as female, but again, the duality is the singularity. And that's why we take the two hands and we unite them together in the middle, the median point. You see how their two faces meet at a median point. And the pineal gland is what unites them as one, because the duality is the singularity. So although I do not appear on the female spectrum to me being male is my mirror. And everything has that mirror. Everything is a dual being, but is ultimately one singularity. And you are that singularity. So it's the same with black and white. I appear in a white body right now, but the black man is my mirror. If I didn't know freaking darkness, how would I know the light? Sun and moon. I mean, come on, people. The sun and moon can coexist. Why can't we? We're no different than the sun and the moon. Night and day, light and dark, white and black. You need one to know the other. As long as we're killing over white and black issues, over form and racial and social classification and these bullcrap issues, our ego is what's driving our consciousness. The ego has to prove whether the black or the white man came first, whether the male or the female, Adam or Eve, God or man, this or that. That's ego. You would never know one without the other. You need it. Embrace your mirror. Embrace your mirror, because without that mirror, it all becomes you. And I don't know if you've ever had that experience, but I have, and it's freaking terrifying. Through psychedelics, of course. It all becomes you. You think you want to know everything, but once you know everything, you marvel in this great excitement of, oh my God, I understand everything. But you're looking around in this absence of space that I could just only call a void. You're looking around because you have no body. The body is what separates you from the infinite space, right? Well, what happens when you remove the body? There is just infinite space. So all you are is this pair of eyes with no body. You can look down and all around, but you will never see a body to what is holding your pair of eyes. All you can do is look around this infinite space of void, of no thing, and see there is no one there. This is what all is one means. You get the point. I know nothing, and I embrace the moment. Ultimate message is just surrender to yourself. And all yourself is this moment. Expressing itself through a body, but it's through the body you're connecting to this moment. It's through the body you're slowly connecting to this eternal moment forever. We utilize the body to exist in time, to become aware of our eternal self. So when you become aware of your eternal self, you've tasted the elixir of infinity. You've experienced what never dies. You've realized the self beyond self. You've realized that beyond who is aware, what is aware does not need anything. It is who is aware that needs identity, that needs purpose, that needs meaning, that needs all of these spoken things, these limited things of the mind that we think are of great importance, don't get me wrong. But awareness doesn't need any of that. And that is the power of awareness, of I am. The ego can try and paint a beautiful picture of a meaning to life, or the purpose of life, or what it all means and who am I, but you cannot express this. The only truth is being expressed in the eternal moment of now. I'm going to end this video. I've been on here a while. I do have to eat, so I apologize. I work overnight, so I just got off work and it's the morning time, so forgive me. My brain's still a little about to crash, so thank you for watching. Thank you if you shared this video. Thank you for your time. Even though time is a construct, it does not exist. I hope this video helped in any way. Even one sentence, if that one sentence has helped reflect anything onto you, then I have done my job here. I appreciate everyone who helps me share this video. I'm blocked from sharing my content until April 20th, 2020. So I appreciate all the shares and people helping me out with that. Yeah, I'll have this video up on my YouTube in a while. If you feel free to subscribe to me there, Red Pill Rabbit Hole. And I appreciate it. I did this video today covering belief systems and ego and consciousness just because I had a few requests on doing videos on belief systems. So if you have any ideas or thoughts or things you want me to speak on or give my opinion on or interpretation on, feel free to email me or message me or anything you'd like. Alright. Alright. Thank you, everyone. Have a beautiful Wednesday, and I love you. Thank you.